Toni, welcome. Please introduce yourself to our audience at Breaking Beauty and tell us the companies you've founded.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. It's such an honor to be here today. My name is Toni Ko. I am the founder of NYX Cosmetics, and then that company was acquired by L'Oreal in 2014. I had a 5 years non-compete, so I sat out of the beauty industry for 5 years, but my non-compete had just expired on July 30th this year.
Woo!
I can't believe it's been 5 years already. And my second company is called Bespoke Beauty Brands, and it's basically a beauty incubator.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we want to go back to your origin story a little bit. I know that you grew up in South Korea and before immigrating to the U.S. And I heard you on another podcast and you said if you could paint your childhood, it would be the color yellow. And I just thought that was such an interesting description. And can you expand on what you meant by that? Because I don't know what color my childhood is. It really sent me down a path and I don't know.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in South Korea until I was 13 years old. But I wasn't born in Seoul, South Korea, which is the capital and is the city. I was born in a small state called Daegu, and I was born in the 70s. So my age, like I'm up there with my age.
Me too. I'm right there with you, Toni.
But yeah, I mean, we had dirt road, we had like a little stream that ran in front of our house, we had mountain in the back, and our parents raised us like farm animals. We were let out in the morning, and then we came home at dusk. I grew up chasing dragonflies and playing with rocks and just jumping in water, and so yellow is a happy color to me.
Oh.
Like anything that's yellow seems happy to me, and I feel like if I could paint my childhood in color, that's yellow, because I was so happy.
Yeah. And did you have siblings growing up?
I do. So I have an older sister, older brother, and I'm the last one in the family.
Okay, good. And so it would be the trio of you going outside and just exploring nature and
going into the mountain and just going out to the field and running around and yeah.
And so what that transition must have been like when you came to the US. You were 13.
I was 13.
And
yes.
where did you come to and what was that like?
Okay, so we did live in Seoul for a few years before moving over, so it wasn't
you were in the
like
big city.
the country too. Yeah, we did live in the big city for a little bit. Coming to Los Angeles, I remember this day, like it was March 22nd or something, 1986, and I remember looking down the airplane, and it was very flat. Because in Los Angeles, buildings are short because of the earthquake, right? And like in South Korea, in Seoul, like all the we have like all these high-rise apartment buildings, and I just thought like, oh my God. The first impression was, oh my God, everything's so flat. And then we got off the plane, and I took a step outside. I took a sip of air, and I was like, oh my God, this air is so fresh. So that's my second impression. And we ended up in a city called Glendale, because my mom had a friend living in Burbank, and my mom had her friend arrange an apartment for us. So she picked a place for us in Glendale. So we landed in Glendale, and I lived in Glendale since until I moved out of my parents' house when I was 28.
Wow.
Yeah, I lived at home until I was 28.
I think that's very common for Korean women, right? Very traditional.
Very, like, so you're supposed to live at home until you get married.
Yes.
But I wasn't married, but I had started my business when I was 26 already.
Right.
And I'm an entrepreneur, like I own my business. So I like at 28, I begged my mom to please like let me have my own life. And I bought a condo in downtown, and then that's when I started to live in downtown Los Angeles.
Amazing.
And did your parents influence you at all to who you are today? Is there anything you could say, that's why?
Oh, absolutely. My father, my mother, both of them. So it's just like a really combination. So my father is really strict. I mean, he's like the captain from the Van Trapp family, and he raised us in a certain way where it may seem very harsh. Almost like borderline child abuse, almost.
Yeah.
But but back in Korea then, it was very acceptable, like how we were raised, but that made me a very strong person, both physically and emotionally. So I'm very emotionally stable. Like I don't sway very much. And also like I don't get sick or I don't like I'm very healthy.
Wow.
And I think that's very important to be an entrepreneur, to
Totally.
be a healthy person. So you need to live a healthy lifestyle and everything like that. And my mother, because after we moved to US, that's the first business that my mother started. It was in a small beauty supply retail store. And that was my first foray into the beauty world. And I was 14, I think maybe 14, 15 years old.
Wow.
So was that like your first encounter with beauty? Like what did your mom maybe teach you about beauty living in Korea, or was it something you got more interested in when you moved to the United States?
Yeah, so, well, on the personal level, so just looking at my mom growing up, so my mom's now 75 years old and she has a flawless skin because ever since I remember, she's always like doing this or like she has cucumbers all over her face and she's already like moisturizers, eye cream. So she made me wear eye cream when I was 19 years old, and taking care of skin, and so I think that played a big role. And then her starting a beauty supply business where I was working in the family business, so I was learning. It's like going to MBA.
Yeah.
I was learning the daily deals that you do with inventory, customer, display, POPs, just little nuances from businesses, right?
Yeah.
Just like looking at customers and figuring out what they really want.
Yeah.
Because what they want and what they say they want might be a little different, right? So I learned that. So I think she has affected me greatly in my career.